Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I'm glad that you want to talk about this issue because I just think it's just such an important issue to discuss. Kind of looking at the piece around trauma, but really what we want to talk about is doing work that makes a difference. Stabilization, memory, remembrance, and mourning, and working through, and recovery. Recovery being the reconnection with all the things that are meaningful in life that take us to a place where we know what we know and we can move forward. Because life is really about moving forward. It's not about staying in that, I'm fixed now and I can't get through this and I've been devastated and that's it. There's not going to be anything else for me. And what we started to recognize was there were certain key components that really did need to be in place before people were going to make those steps to progress. And the biggest piece was stabilization. Without stabilization, because without the physiological ability to self-soothe, it's just like you're exposing yourself to trauma and now you're getting overwhelmed by the memory. And it's too much to bear. The body won't tolerate it. So there's no upside to getting people to tell the story without that stabilization piece. So we would do all this work around stabilization, and once that was really and deeply in place, people were then able to get to a point where they could work with these really deep exercises for working through. And in this field today, now there's all sorts of different approaches which are wonderful, very effective. Many of them come from a variety of different angles, but the point is it's all about working through the trauma, and that's really about exposure. And if we're doing a good job, it's exposure with relaxation of some sort, and then we get to a place where we can resolve the trauma, or it stops being ignited. We can't forget the trauma, we can resolve it. We get to a new place, and then people start to come to session and they say things like, oh, like I joined a bowling group, or, I just started to, go out a little bit more. I noticed I've been calling my friends a little bit more often, or I'm accepting invitations more. And that happens naturally. And if it doesn't happen naturally, we can give them tools to get them to move in that direction. But probably about 7/8 of the people that I work with will come and start telling me they started the reconnection portion of trauma work on their own. Okay, that's the whole program. You can go home now.